After almost a month, the inquest has now wrapped up into the death of Indigenous artist Moses Beaver. The 56-year-old man had been suffering from a mental health crisis in his remote community in 2017 and died a month later after hanging himself in his Thunder Bay jail cell. Earlier today, the jury signed off on 63 recommendations to prevent similar cases from happening in the future. Mike Lang has been following this story and he joins us live in studio with more. Mike?
Thanks, Riley. The jury concluded that Beaver's death could have been prevented if he had greater access to mental health services in his home of Nibinamik First Nation and if the Thunder Bay District Jail had better crisis management. The jury's 63 recommendations were made to help improve mental health care for remote First Nations. The Ministry of Health was urged to fund Orange Air ambulances to expand their mental health transport team programs so that they can provide 24/7 emergency support for mental health patients in remote communities. In Beaver's case, bad weather and a lack of available aircraft delayed his transportation to larger crisis centers in Sioux Lookout or Thunder Bay. Therefore, the recommendations also suggest for mobile mental health and addictions clinics to be created in remote territories to prevent mental health crises from getting worse as it did for Beaver.
The thoughtfulness and the direction of those recommendations, I think, really speaks to the impact that Moses had on everyone around him, and certainly it had an impact on the jury, and they showed us that through the very carefully drafted recommendations that they provided to the parties.
One of the lawyers working with coroner in this inquest, Julian Roy, says the jury's recommendations will help save lives.
We're very, very proud of the work that they did. They were very attentive to the evidence. They worked very hard in their deliberations, and they've come up with a comprehensive set of recommendations that we really are hopeful will help to save lives both in northern communities and in Ontario's correctional facilities.
The recommendations also state that all frontline staff and district jail staff should receive more extensive training and cultural awareness about remote reserves. Casper says the awareness raised from Beaver's case could also encourage those who are on the verge of crisis to seek some of the help they need from within their community.
We've also seen the beauty of Indigenous community, Indigenous family, where they fill that gap and they do the advocacy. Now we just need to make sure that on the other end of family and community, we have those working in the systems that are ready to receive and to listen.
As the recommendations are applied across all levels, Casper adds that the next step is to determine how to overcome the barriers of their implementation. Mike Lang, TBT News.